Have you ever wondered why some people seem to glide through life, doors opening, paths clearing, while others, equally hardworking, are left knocking on opportunity's gate with nothing but silence in return? It almost feels unfair, doesn't it? But what if the reason isn't luck or favoritism? What if there's a secret rhythm the universe follows, one that only a few truly understand? And more importantly, what if that rhythm has nothing to do with how loud you shout your dreams and everything to do with how silently you align with them? Let me take you to a forgotten garden hidden behind a high stone wall where an old teacher once revealed a truth so subtle most never see it, yet so powerful it can change the very fabric of your reality. Story begins. A young seeker, hard, heavy and brows furrowed, approached his master in quiet frustration. His voice, soft but weighted with confusion, trembled slightly as he asked, "Master, why does life seem so uneven? Why do some receive every chance with open arms while others, despite all their efforts, remain stuck, unseen, unheard?" The old scholar, whose hands bore the ink stains of decades spent transcribing ancient truths, didn't answer right away. Instead, he smiled a gentle, knowing smile and motioned for the student to follow. They walked silently until they reached a vast stone wall that surrounded a lush, mysterious garden. The gate was large and sealed shut, ancient vines weaving up from the earth to curl along its base. The master pointed to a small cluster of ivy near the bottom. "Most knock," he said simply. "They pound with forced demand to be let in. But few watch, few feel, few take the time to understand the design." He reached into the foliage and with quiet precision pressed something hidden beneath the leaves. A latch clicked softly. The gate opened, not with a creak, not with a shout, but with silence. "Awareness," he whispered, "not effort, and never noise." In that moment, the young student realized something profound, something that would stay with him far beyond that garden wall. The garden as metaphor. The garden was more than a place. It was a symbol, a living metaphor for life's deeper abundance, the kind not visible from the outside. That hidden latch. It represented a key that only a quiet inward gaze could uncover. How many of us knock louder when things don't go our way? We push harder, speak more, demand more attention, believing noise will bring reward. But what if the universe doesn't respond to volume, but to vibration? That day, the student learned that the latch to life's secret door isn't opened by force. It responds to a different kind of frequency, one rooted in stillness, awareness, and inner alignment. In a world obsessed with performance validation and visibility, it's easy to forget that the most potent energy moves beneath the surface, quietly, invisibly, like roots beneath the soil preparing for bloom. The power of silent alignment. The student's realization didn't come like lightning. It arrived like a whisper. He saw that true transformation didn't begin when the world noticed him, but when he turned inward. It was in those unseen moments, without applause, without witness, that something within began to shift. And that shift changed everything. The world outside didn't magically transform. The conditions didn't become easier. The people didn't suddenly understand him better. But something had realigned. And in that quiet realignment, new paths emerged seemingly out of nowhere. But they weren't random. They were always there, waiting behind the wall. Visible success is born in invisible spaces. So many chase the spotlight, assuming that being seen equals being successful. But as the garden gate taught us, visibility is not the beginning. It's the result. The greatest acts of creation don't happen on stage. They unfold in silence, in solitude, in the sacred space where no one is watching. What you see on the surface, titled wealth recognition, is merely the echo of a frequency long cultivated in private. And here lies the paradox: the quieter your energy, the louder the universe responds. Ancient wisdom and modern truth. This truth isn't new. Ancient mystics knew it. Monks in mountaintop monasteries knew it. Even modern consciousness researchers are now confirming it. Energy focused in silence holds exponentially more power than energy scattered through talk and display. Every dream you carry begins as a seed. But what happens if you dig it up too soon just to show others? It loses strength. Its roots don't get the chance to form. When you speak too early, share your desires before they're ready, they become vulnerable. Vulnerable to doubt, to misinterpretation, to other people's vibrations which may not match yours. That's why silence isn't about secrecy born of fear. It's about sacred protection. It's like shielding a flickering candle from the wind, not to hide it, but to allow it to grow into steady flame. Science meets spirituality. Even neuroscience backs this up. Studies have shown that when you share a goal aloud, your brain receives a dopamine reward, a false sense of accomplishment. That chemical reward tricks your mind into believing the task is already complete. Motivation fades, momentum wanes. You might feel proud for a moment, but the actual action, it slows sometimes to a stop. So when we share our dreams too soon, we risk losing the fire that would have fueled them into reality. The magnetism of mystery. But there's something else happening behind the scene, a subtler, more metaphysical mechanism. Every thought, every feeling emits a frequency. The energy you carry while manifesting silently communicates with the quantum field. The universe listens not with ears, but with resonance. If your energy is scattered, shaped by external opinions, doubts, or applause, it sends mixed signals, and the universe in return responds with confusion. But when your energy is concentrated, anchored by inner stillness and quiet certainty, it's like a clear signal beaming across space. And that signal, it pulls life toward you. Protect the vision. Trust the process. That's why it's so essential to protect your vision, especially in its early stages. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone is meant to. And if you allow their confusion to influence your frequency, you shift away from your own alignment. It's like static on a radio, distorting the message, delaying the outcome. The most powerful creators in the world, they don't move in noise. They don't broadcast every step. They move in quiet certainty. They create in private and only reveal when the creation is already strong enough to stand on its own. This isn't hiding. It's preserving power. It's understanding that real momentum doesn't need a spotlight. It needs consistency. Small acts, big impact. Think about the smallest acts done in silence, visualizing your ideal outcome each morning, choosing empowering thoughts, saying no to distractions, cultivating discipline when no one's watching. These small, consistent moves form an energetic foundation, one so unshakable that no storm can wash it away. In stillness, your resonance becomes refined. You're no longer shaken by others' opinions, no longer swayed by trends or timelines. You become the tuning fork, not the echo. Lao Tzu's whisper. As Lao Tzu wrote, those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. Wisdom doesn't yell, it whispers. And when your life begins to whisper back in alignment, the world listens even if it doesn't understand. Because energy doesn't lie. The final door. Eventually, the doors you once knocked on so desperately begin to open on their own. Not because the world changed, but because your frequency did. And that's the real secret. External silence is only half the story. The real transformation happens when your inner world aligns with worthiness, clarity, and belief, the role of the subconscious. But there's a challenge. Most people operate from unconscious scripts written in childhood. Ideas like success is rare or life is struggle run silently in the background, shaping your choices, behaviors, and results. Your subconscious is the soil. And if the soil is filled with fear, doubt, or inherited limitations, even the most powerful seeds will struggle to grow. That's why real manifestation isn't just about visualizing what you want. It's about reprogramming what you believe you deserve. It's about tilling the soil, clearing out the weeds of old conditioning, and preparing it to receive. The final whisper. So the next time you find yourself frustrated, knocking on a door that won't open, remember the vine. Remember the latch hidden behind the leaves. The universe doesn't respond to force. It responds to quiet alignment. And when you finally tune inward, when you learn to watch, to feel, to trust, the hidden latch will reveal itself. Not with noise, but with a whisper. So the whisper has been sent. You've begun to align within. But what now? What happens next once you've touched that hidden latch and opened the door, not with force, but with frequency? The truth is, to change what you experience outside your inner landscape must shift first. It is a universal law, one that transcends culture, age, and belief. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And this shift, it doesn't require noise. It requires repetition, visualization, and the language you speak to yourself in silence. Every time you speak a new affirmation, phrases like, abundance flows to me effortlessly, or I am worthy of extraordinary outcomes, you begin to overwrite the story you've carried for years. A story often written by fear, by other people's limitations, by wounds you forgot you had. But it's not just the words that matter. Words without belief are like arrows without a bow, they go nowhere. Directionless, powerless. It's the emotion behind the words that gives them their fire. That turns them from mere sounds into a living vibration. One the subconscious mind can actually feel and respond to. You see, the subconscious doesn't care about logic. It's not persuaded by reason or analysis. It responds to energy, to sensation, to what feels real. And when your belief matches your intention, when both are anchored not in desperation, but in quiet, grounded certainty, a shift begins. Not dramatic, not loud, but unmistakably real. Your frequency begins to rise. Your perception expands. You start to notice things, subtle signs, invisible patterns, new doors that were always there, but hidden. Like tuning a radio to a new frequency, your reality starts to rearrange itself to match your new signal. And the most beautiful part, because you haven't declared your shift to the world because you've kept it sacred, private, protected, there's no resistance, no external noise to push against. You begin to move like the wind, unseen but felt, influential without force, guiding your life without needing to explain a single thing. This is where real transformation begins, not in the noise of announcement, but in the stillness of alignment. Once your vibration is steady and your energy protected in silence, a subtle but powerful current begins to ripple outward. And then, the miraculous starts to unfold. Events begin to line up with precision, as if the universe is orchestrating a sequence just for you. The right people appear at the exact moment you need them. Solutions unfold without you having to push, prove, or plead. This isn't luck. This isn't coincidence. This is flow. The ancient Taoists spoke of this. Modern psychologists call it the zone. Carl Jung described it as meaningful coincidence, synchronicity, where inner transformation is mirrored by outer alignment. You're no longer wrestling with life. You're dancing with it. And when you reach this state, something powerful happens. Desperation dissolves. So does anxiety. So does that exhausting urge to chase or control. Instead, you feel calm, present, engaged. Life stops feeling like a battle you're always behind in and becomes a conversation with an intelligent, responsive universe. One that hears you, one that mirrors your inner state, not your outer effort. And here lies one of the greatest paradoxes: the less tightly you hold on to what you want, the faster it arrives. Grasping is a signal of lack, but trust says it's already mine. When your actions come from faith without emotional attachment to the outcome, you create the frequency of abundance. Think of a farmer. He doesn't pull at the sprout to force it to grow faster. He doesn't shout at the soil. He simply plants, waters, and allows nature to do what it does best. Your job is the same. Plant, align, trust, and then let go. Because when you stop checking the door, the universe walks right through it. And within this entire process, there is one quiet force that amplifies everything: gratitude. Gratitude is not just a nice feeling. It's an energetic key. It shifts your frequency from scarcity to sufficiency, from chasing to receiving. While frustration screams, "I don't have enough," gratitude gently whispers, "I am already full." And from fullness, more fullness is born. Every time you thank life, not just for what's easy, but for anything you already hold, you signal to the universe, "This is my standard. This is the vibration I live in." And the universe in turn sends you more of what matches that signal. But let's be clear. Gratitude doesn't mean you ignore what's missing. It means you choose not to focus your energy on the void. Instead, you focus on what supports your becoming. When combined with nightly visualizations and quiet affirmations, this becomes more than a mindset. It becomes a blueprint when your subconscious begins to follow without resistance. You train your inner world to expect goodness, to expect ease. And over time, it becomes second nature. You no longer hope good things come. You know they will. You live as though what you seek has already arrived, and that emotional certainty becomes a powerful magnet. So now, a choice stands before you. Will this knowledge remain theory, something interesting but unused, or will it become rhythm ritual, a quiet daily reinforcement of your new identity? Will you move through your life subtly but powerfully, trusting the process, releasing the need to control, no longer proving, just being? Because the truth is the doors are already open. They're waiting, not for your effort, but for your frequency. Let your energy speak before your words ever do. Let your stillness become the loudest sound you make. And the world will respond not with chaos or resistance, but with calm, confident steps and unwavering trust. Walk forward. The universe already heard you whisper.